Well, ladies and gentlemen, as of yesterday evening, Chuck Schumer has officially caved. President Trump has won, the government shutdown has been averted, and the Democrats are completely humiliated. But folks, not only are the Democrats humiliated, Chuck Schumer's decision to surrender to President Trump has actually sparked a full-blown mutiny inside of the Democratic Party. Now, we're going to break all of that down later in the video, but first, let's talk about everything that just happened. Over the last couple days, Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer was talking a pretty big game, saying that if Trump didn't agree to his demands, he would shut down the government alongside his fellow Democrats. Not very democratic, is it, shutting down the government when you don't get your way and subverting the will of the American people? But you know what, folks? After all of that big talk, Chuck Schumer folded. He completely caved in to President Trump. And so today, we're going to talk about why all of this happened and also what all of this means as we move forward. But first, I want you to take a listen to what Chuck Schumer had to say about all of this.
Leads us to a decision. And it's not really a decision, it's a Hobson's choice. Either proceed with the bill before us or risk Donald Trump throwing America into the chaos of a shutdown. This, in my view, is no choice at all. While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. For sure, the Republican bill is a terrible option. It is not a clean CR. It is deeply partisan. It doesn't address far too many of this country's needs. But I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option. And before I explain why, let me be clear about one thing. No one on my side of the aisle wants a government shutdown. Members who support this CR do not want a government shutdown. Members who oppose this CR do not want a government shutdown.
Now, folks, let's make something transparently clear here. Pretty much every single thing he just said is a total lie. He didn't back down on the government shutdown because he cares about America. No, he backed down because he realized that if a shutdown happened, America would blame him and side with President Trump. In fact, as some of you might have noticed, for the last 2 days, Schumer shutdown was trending on pretty much every single social media platform. Americans knew exactly what was happening. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats were threatening to shut down the government just to stop Donald Trump. And folks, let's be honest here for a second. The Democrats can't really afford to lose any more support right now. As it stands right now, the Democrats have an absolutely embarrassing national approval rating of 21%. But you know what? You guys are going to absolutely love this next thing that I have to show you. You see, just yesterday evening, after calling off the government shutdown, Chuck Schumer actually snapped in a fit of rage. He had an absolute outburst on live TV. But before we take a look at that, I want to say real quick that if you guys enjoy the daily news coverage, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help a lot with my daily struggle against the YouTube algorithm. Also, I figure I should apologize to you guys. You see, I'm super sick right now, and I know my voice sounds terrible. But okay, with all of that being said, let's take a look at Chuck Schumer's epic meltdown.
To have the conflict on the best ground we have summed up in a sentence that they're making the middle class pay for tax cuts for billionaires, it's much, much better not to be in the middle of a shutdown, which to divert people from the number one issue we have against these bastards, these people, which is not only all these cuts, but they're ruining democracy.
These bastards are ruining democracy, says Chuck Schumer. Guys, let's do a quick recap here. Just 2 months ago, the American people voted to give Republicans the control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. President Trump won in a massive electoral college landslide, and he became the first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years. And on top of all of that, right now, the Democrats have their lowest national approval ratings of all time, 21%. Meanwhile, President Trump has his highest ratings of all time, 53%. So you tell me, Chuck, who exactly is ruining democracy here with all of this talk of a government shutdown? Maybe Chuck Schumer didn't get the memo, but America has collectively chosen to make America great again. And guess what, Chuck? Your input is no longer needed. The country has decided we are moving full steam ahead with the America First agenda, despite how much the Democrats and cronies like Chuck Schumer cry and scream about it. And you know what? Let's just be honest for a second. This is all getting a little bit pathetic. Right now, the only plan the Democrats have is to try to undermine every single thing that President Trump does. Seriously, that's the only strategy that they have right now. But here's the problem with that strategy. Trump's ratings are so high that trying to sabotage him is actually just a losing battle. Because here's the reality, the majority of Americans actually want Trump to be successful. The majority of Americans support President Trump. So unless the Democrats can actually come up with a real platform that benefits everyday Americans, you know what? They better get used to having that 21% approval rating. So folks, regarding Chuck Schumer, here's the real takeaway. If the Democrats thought that they could get away with shutting down the government to sabotage Trump, they would be doing it right now. The only reason they called off the shutdown is because the entire country saw right through their entire plan. We all saw immediately exactly what the Democrats were up to here, and we were not about to let them get away with it. And so the second Chuck Schumer realized that Americans would hold him and the Democrats accountable as opposed to blaming President Trump for the shutdown, that's when he caved. They didn't have a sudden moment of clarity. No, they realized that America was sick of their nonsense. But folks, as I said earlier, the fallout from all of this is just getting started. You see, right now, multiple high-profile Democrats are actually revolting against Chuck Schumer's decision to back down to President Trump, saying he's too weak to lead the Democratic Party. And who's leading the charge? You guessed it, none other than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Take a look at this.
You just talked about the strength of your leadership. Chuck Schumer just said that he's going to vote for cloture. Not only the Democrats can do it, but he's going to participate in it. Does that mean that you think he's a weak Senate leader?
I think that would be a mistake. But we have time between now and tomorrow, and I hope that individuals that are considering that reconsider it. I genuinely do. I don't think it's what New Yorkers want. I don't think it's what the country wants. This is genuinely not about Democrats or Republicans. This is about deep cuts to Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. This is about the evisceration of the federal government. This is about codifying the looting that is happening at the behest of Elon Musk in order to pay for his tax breaks for billionaires. And we have a responsibility to stand up for it. That is why people elected us, and that is our responsibility to them right now.
So folks, of course, everything she just said is absolutely moronic, but there you have it. Right now, AOC is forming a faction of radical progressives inside of the Democratic Party to work independently of Chuck Schumer's leadership. You see, for radical progressives like AOC, Chuck Schumer just isn't progressive enough. He still has some amount of sanity left, which means as far as AOC is concerned, he's got to be pushed out. And folks, here's the real crazy thing about all of this. You see, Chuck Schumer is a 74-year-old senator from New York State, while AOC is a 35-year-old House rep from also New York State. And so you just know that right now, AOC is eyeing Chuck Schumer's seat in the Senate like right now I am eyeing a cough drop. But folks, here's the real takeaway. All of this is just further proof that right now the Democratic Party is in complete and total shambles. Right now, the Democrats have no plan, and very clearly right now, they have no leader. But now, folks, before I wrap up with today's video, I want to say real quick that I've actually gone ahead and made a community Facebook page where I'll be posting additional news and updates as it relates to all of this stuff. So if you guys use Facebook, check out that pinned comment down below and give that page a follow. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below in the comment section and let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there. Like I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.